Fellas, we have a Yu-Gi-Oh ban list. This is not a drill. This is actually happening. We received the ban list today. This was at 12 p.m. noon Eastern time, depending on where you're at. But yeah, it came out. We're going to talk about it. I want to talk about some of the implications of what this ban list means. It's sort of a reaction. I mean, I've already seen the ban list, but like, I haven't really felt the feelings yet that I need to feel. My group chat been popping off, been going crazy. But yeah, let's talk about it. So right off the rip, Forbidden, we have Moon of the Closed Heaven. So obviously a lot of people have been talking about this for a while. A lot of people also kind of just forgot about it or didn't think it needed to be hit anymore because Fiendsmith has sort of fallen out of favor for the shiny new things in Yummy and K9, and it also plays pretty poorly into the K9 cards, you know, making Azuna and Lupus live when you activate your Fiendsmith cards in the hand or the grave. However, Fiendsmith cards are still insane. They still haven't really been hit very much, so banning Moon, I think, makes the most sense if you're going to touch the engine at all. It makes it to where you can't just put it in everything. You know, you have to have a way to make a rank 4 to go into Exiton Knight, or there's like a Melodious Djinn monster, like a rank 3 that's a Light Fiend, where you just have to hard open your Fiendsmith cards, basically. So it's a lot harder to bridge now. I think that this was probably the hit that needed to happen for Fiendsmith. So moving on from Moon, Splash Mage. All right, I feel a certain way about this because I got my first like top at a regional, my top 16 with Malice. Granted, it was Malice Fiendsmith, so both of these cards were in that deck. But Splash Mage hurts really bad. I don't know how much you've played Malice, but a lot of your combos need Splash Mage. You know, you still have Haggard Lizardos to do your basic like one card combo, but the problem you run into, and I haven't labbed this out yet to see what it looks like now, but the problem that you run into is that a lot of your combos may start with, you know, a monster, you know, link it off for a link 1, summon a Bestial to get your 3 bodies, or use March Hare in hand to get your 3 bodies, go straight into Red Ransom, or your one card combo with Dormouse, you banish the White Rabbit, you bring it back, you go into Lizardos, banish the Dormouse, play from there. A lot of those combos need Splash Mage later in the combo in order to easily make your White Binder. You usually make Red Ransom first now, get the field spell, banish the quick play, but you need the Splash Mage later in the combo. And so it's really interesting, and you'll see later on in this list that I don't think that Malice is going to be a top deck anymore. It already had kind of fallen a little bit to the wayside. Obviously, it was still in Worlds. That's a different ban list. There's different things going on there. And the cards are still very powerful, yes. But this hurts the consistency so much. You're going to have to start playing stuff like, I don't know, Signet Mining, but that still doesn't fix this loss from the extra deck. Anyway, we'll move on. We'll get into other stuff, but King of the Fairlamps, this needed to happen. I think everyone was kind of expecting this. You know, if you bought the Starlight, it's going to look real shiny in your band binder, all right? It's going to look real shiny on your TCG player account, all right? Look, King of the Fairlamps was just insane because if you get into it, you get full Mitsurugi combo. And as you'll see on this list, Mitsu did not really get touched beyond this. So, yeah, you just can't bridge into it as easily. Again, I like the way that they're doing this, where they're banning these like super generic bridges, like Moon and King of the Fairlamps. I think that needed to happen. Honestly, super surprised that Duo Drive did not get banned, because I was fully expecting it. With it being printed as a common in the 10s, I was like, they're banning this thing. It's gone. But that was not the case. Yeah, as you can see here. But King, RIP, rest in piss, reptiles. And then, of course, the card that we all knew was going to happen, it was banned in the OCG, number 67, Paradise Smasher. I play all the decks, right? I was playing Memento K9. I got to Smasher someone. I was playing VS K9 the past couple of weeks because I wanted to learn the deck. It looked really fun. It has been really fun. And I've gotten the Paradise Smasher once or twice. Although most of the time when you can go into Paradise Smasher, it's not like the death knell. I mean, like, you were already winning the game is what I'm trying to say. Like, a lot of times you were already in such an advantageous position that you could have just made, like, you know, a rank 5 and an SP, or 2 rank 5s, or whatever, and you would have been fine. You would have probably won the game anyway. But this was just one of those cards that, like, when you resolved it, it's just so ridiculous. Unless you're Triff and you ghost ogre it, you know, but man's just the GOAT. All right, let's move on from Forbidden. This is the real hitters. This is what defines this ban list, this Forbidden Limited list, as like either a banger, you love it, or absolute trash, you hate it. So you can see a lot of names on here that are kind of insane. So Limited, Extrazial. I've been preaching about this for a couple months now, that I think limiting Extrazial would do enough to the deck, and keeping Detonator limited, right? Keep Detonator limited, keep Bonfire limited, and then limit Extrazial, because it forces you into this weird position where you don't want to, well, I guess you have to choose, right? Do you want to normal summon Ice, summon X from deck, search Sword, or do you want to search X later in your combo, or start with X to get the dump from the extra deck first? You have to choose now. You can't do both. There's not a way to do both unless you do some shenanigans where you, like, you start comboing with Ice, summon the X, you end up shuffling it back with Field Spell, and you summon it later or hold it in your hand. But I just don't think it's good enough, man. I think this is going to be a really big hit to Ryziel, especially because, and again, you'll see this later, they don't unlimit anything. So it's like 1x, 2 sword, 2 ice, etc. Malice P. Dormouse. Again, this one hurts. I really don't think they needed to hit Malice anymore. Even with, I didn't think they needed to ban Splash Mage, but limiting Dormouse is brutal. Now, this makes sense from the company. If you look at the OCG ban list, the World's ban list also had Malice P. Dormouse at 1. Fine. But they had March Hare at 3 still. Well, we have it at 3. But they had Rabbit, White Rabbit, at 3. We still only have White Rabbit at 2 in the TCG. And you'll see later, they did not unlimit it. We only have Field Spell at 2. 3 if you count Terraforming. But that plays into Droll. I don't know, man. This is rough. It feels like this kills Malice, at least as far as it being like a tier 1, tier 1.5 deck. I think it's tier 2, tier 3, maybe even Rogue at this point. You're probably going to have to throw in Signet Minings. That's what I was mentioning earlier. You're probably going to have to combine it with like some other, I don't know, some other Cyber Slop to make it work. But the Cyber Slop isn't even going to be that good anymore because you don't have Splash Mage. I don't know. Dormouse to 1 feels like a nail in the coffin for right now. Super unfortunate for the Malice enjoyers. Now here's where it gets really brutal. Vanquish Soul Rosin, and I'm going to talk about this with Stake Your Soul as well. I know it's down here, but just stay with me. I've been playing VSK9 for the last couple of weeks, like I said earlier, because I wanted to learn the deck. It seemed fun, and it's obviously very powerful. I mean, Julian Kahn showed it off at Worlds. It's incredibly strong. The thing about the deck is, as strong as it is, it still bricks. Even with the 3 Rosin, the 3 Stake Your Soul, all the K9 stuff with it now, it still bricks. Because the engine has an inherently balancing thing to it, which is that you have to reveal certain attributes, right, to do certain things. Effectively removing 2 fire attributes from your deck, which fire was already the most scarce. You basically are forced to main deck Ash Blossom, even if it's not good in a certain format, because you just need more fires. Your only other fire is a level 5 guy, Xiaolong. So you're effectively removing 2 more fires from the deck. But not just that, Stake Your Soul as well, meaning you can't go Stake Reveal Ash to summon Rosin. You can't go Stake Reveal Xiaolong to summon Rosin. It also makes it to where you can't start with Rosin and then summon Rosin from deck with Holisu in the same turn, right? It makes it to where if you start with Rosin on your turn, when it gets to your opponent's turn, you can't summon Rosin from deck with Holisu, which is what you usually want to do. Right? So I don't know, man. Rosin and Stake Your Soul going to 1, I think effectively kills the deck in a way that it is not going to be a top meta contender. I think that it is still a powerful deck. The deck still technically does most of the things you want it to do, with the exception of being able to start with Rosin and also summon it on your opponent's turn with Halisu. I guess they felt that they needed to do this because of the Worlds, Worlds Finals being both vs K9. I get it. It just sucks, man. And they weren't going to ban any of the K9 stuff. It just came out, although they could have, because, they banned Lacrima right when it came out. But I don't know. I think this really messes with Vanquish Soul, unfortunately. As someone who's been playing the deck, I will not be playing it with 1 Rosin, 1 Stake Your Soul. Sorry. Moving on. Fiendsmith Lacrima. So this is an unban, now limited, Fiendsmith Lacrima, the fusion, which I think is really cool. A lot of us were kind of saying like, oh, this could totally happen with the new change in the time rules, right? Because now, there's not really a benefit to burning your opponent for 12 unless it's going to help you into the game, right? You don't play to time, because if you in the match and you're both 1-1 or 1-0 whatever, you're both getting a match loss, so you don't want that anymore. So Feast with Lacrima coming back, kind of cool, especially now that Moon is banned, so I think that was another catalyst for this being able to come back into the fray and become unbanned now limited. I think it'll open up some cool plays. I've played around with it a decent bit on Master Duel. Granted, that was with Moon, but I think it just opens up a couple more interesting plays that you can do and lets you make Caesar super easy, obviously. So I think this will be cool. It'll be fun to see what people do with this as people start experimenting. I mean, I'm sure people already are today, but we'll see some really cool videos come out from some great content creators soon. Lacrima. This was a mistake. There's nothing else to say, but this was a mistake. Hey, Konami, did you know that Yummy monsters are Link 1s? Or level 1s? Did you know that Yummy monsters are level 1s, Konami? Because they can turn themselves into a Lacrima, and that can be used as a tuner now with another level 1. Lacrima coming back seems kind of insane to me. When this got banned, we were like, ah, man, that sucks. I like Lacrima, but yeah, it should probably stay banned. This was back in Snake Eye format, of course. All those level 1s. But the fact that this also allows you to dodge interactions on your opponent's turn, which is when Yummy likes to play, as well as on the follow-up, on the crackback, if you're able to stop them from pushing and you survive with the board, you normal summon, any Yummy guy. Now you just have another way to dodge targeted interactions, which it's not like Yummy needed that. They already have Snatchy. Snatchy plus any guy just dodges any targeting. But yeah, I think this is a mistake. And then you'll also see here in a bit that some Snake Eye cards may have come off the list, and I don't know, people, if people don't think those cards are real, I don't know what they're smoking. Okay, moving on. Summon Sorceress, it's honestly time. Like, it's been errated now for like a couple of months. We got it reprinted and it just wasn't getting released on a list, and everyone's like, why did you go through the process of errating it and reprinting it if you're not going to release it? They've released it now. I'm sure there's some cool stuff you can do. I know some people were talking about using it in Dragon Link combos to bridge rockets into something. Who knows? I'm sure, again, we'll see some combo Andes on YouTube show us some cool stuff we can do with Summon Sork. Don't think it's going to be in a topping deck list. Next is Herald of the Arclights. I think this is a good hit. I think this is one of the hits that should have been done to Yummy that makes the most sense, because dealing with multiple Heralds of the Arclight is crazy. One on their turn, and then they make another one on your turn. Should not be a thing. Yummy is a strong enough deck without a negate, honestly. So this helps a little bit. It's kind of like a warning shot, where if Yummy becomes like God tier, tier 0 after this list, it'll probably just end up getting banned. That would suck, because I have a lot of decks that I like that use Herald of the Arclight. I'm a Drytron Andy. Drytron was my first love. It's what I got my first Nats invite with. I know it's toxic. It turns skips and it has infinite negates with the old Herald version. I know. You don't have to tell me. I know it's toxic. Just let me be toxic for a little bit, okay? But anyway, Herald of the Arclight, a side hit here is that it also affects Yummy Mitsurugi, which some of my friends were messing with. I know some people online have been messing with, because now you can't make a Herald and then link it off and get the search for Haba on your turn and also have a Herald for your opponent's turn. So people will probably not be playing that version anymore, or at least it'll be more rogue than it was. It was already pretty rogue, but it'll be more rogue. Moving on to Zodiac Trident. I don't know what Konami's love-hate relationship with this card is. It's been banned and unbanned so many times in the last several years of me playing Yu-Gi-Oh! That it doesn't make sense. Somebody on the team, somebody at Konami HQ really loves Zodiac, I guess. And they keep every list, they're probably in the boardroom like, oh man, it can come off now. It can look at Detonator. Detonator is just Zodiac Trident, but better. God, I don't want to live in a world where we have Zodiac Trident and Eclipse Twins live. Can you even summon Trident off of Eclipse Twins? Is it correctly made? Probably. Yeah, we're probably going to have to deal with that. Good job. I don't want to deal with that. For all the old Zodiac enjoyers, congrats, man. They got you. Additionally, we have spells. So we already went over Stake Your Soul. Crystron Inclusion. This is not one that I actually saw coming, but it does make the most sense because I believe that's the best one-card combo for K9 Crystron. My homie Eric shouts out, loves Crystron K9, so I'm sure he's crying in his college class right now. Not really, but yeah, I guess this makes the most sense. Maybe you just have to play more Smiger now, but that's worse. However, K9 Crystron is getting a bump with the new K9 guy that's coming out. That's just full combo, the level 5 machine guy. So I'm sure this will be fine. Probably annoying if you really like Crystron. I picked him up. I think on my desk here, I think I have some Smigers that I picked up at a regional. I'm gonna search for them. No cuts. Yeah. Smiger. Boom. I've got inclusions in there somewhere. Anyway. Next up, Obedience Schooled. I think this also needed to happen for Yummy. Card's just insane. Being able to just summon 3 guys from deck. The fact that it's not once per turn is why I think it needed to be hit, right? The card is insane. It summons 3 guys, but it locks you into Beast, so it plays way worse into Nib. You basically just have to make a minimal board and hold monsters in hand for Nib, and if they Nib you, you just end on, like, Snatchy and another guy, right? So you can play on your opponent's turn with the set quick play. But having multiples of Obedience Schooled and them not being once per turn meant that you can do crazy stuff. Like my buddy Aaron at Locals summoned 3 guys from deck, used Droplet to send all 3 of them, negating all the opponent's board, and then just did another Obedience Schooled. You can't do that anymore. So that's probably good. Probably what needed to be hit. Plus, with Yummy getting the new Marshmallow guy, the new support, the deck was going to get even more insane. Would have probably been like close to tier 0. So this is a little bit to kind of hurt them, as long as in addition to the limiting of the Herald of the Arclight. Stake Your Soul, we already talked about. Solemn Judgment. I was watching a stream earlier with Distant Coder. He was talking about this card, and I think he was watching some other reactions to the ban list. And I think what they said makes a lot of sense to me. Judgment had a retractor of why you wouldn't want to play it, right? Everyone was still playing it. Here's the thing, right? Everyone was still playing the card. But with the old time rules, it actually had a cost. Paying half your life points is pretty significant. Because if you're down in life in match 3 and time gets called, you lose the game. Now, with it being that if the time is called and there's no winner, you both lose the game, this card technically gets a lot better. Because you don't have to worry about like losing yourself, right? It's just a good card. So I think that's why they limited it to 1. Cards just, I mean, you just add 3 negates to any deck going first. Pretty insane. Another bonus point here is like, it was also a little scary playing Judgment this past format because Vanquish Soul K9 was such a ubiquitous deck. A lot of people were playing it at the regional level. I mean, I played multiple of them at the last Duluth regional a couple weeks back. So burning yourself down to 4K puts you within kill range very quickly. I mean, Burger Burn, cutting your life in half with the Masquerade guy. Yeah, it didn't feel too great. Anyway, I think it's an interesting hit. I didn't expect it. Didn't expect Judgment to 1. Didn't think they had their eyes on any of the Solemns. But hey, card's been limited in before and probably needed to now. All right, let's move on. This video is already getting long. This page is always a joke. Semi-limits is either never there or it's like 1 or 2 cards. Branded Fusion. Branded Enjoyers. You get 1 card back in your 60 card deck. Congratulations. It doesn't matter. And then lastly, this is actually the biggest the Unlimit page has been, I think, in a while, and it's really cool that they did this. So Glow Up Bulb is now back and is unlimited instantly. Didn't get the semi-limit treatment, didn't get the limit treatment, you know what I mean? Just boom. Gub is back. People in my group chat are already talking about crazy stuff you can do with this, like this plus Dracotail Lucius is apparently Nat Beast. Don't know if that's cope or not, but that sounds scary. I don't want to deal with that. There might be a lot of Dracotail mirrors considering nothing from Dracotail got hit on this list. So Globo is really cool. Plant Synchro Enjoyers, you're welcome. Masterpiece, kind of saw this coming. Came off the list, didn't do anything. Here you go. Now you can have 3 of them. I'm not going to talk about that too long, but all the Draco players, you're welcome. I think Team Sam loves it, so congrats to him. Morphing Jar. Yeah. Please don't play Empty Jar at our regionals. Actually do. Please do play Empty Jar at our regionals, and then I will beat you. Phantom Skyblaster. Card doesn't do anything. It summons tokens. You have to waste your normal summon. Doesn't, like... Moon isn't a card anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to do anything. Love this card, though. It's really cool. Fun to play in, like, Tengu format. Snake Eye Ash and Snake Eye Poplar. This is what I wanted to talk about a little bit, because I don't think that people understand that these are still very powerful enablers for a deck that, like, still sees tops. This guy at our locals, Jevin, still played Snake Eyes for a while. Ended up getting a top 16, I believe, at a regional with Snake Eyes. And this was, like, a month or 2 ago. This wasn't last year, right? Obviously, Snake Eye format was insane. We all know if you played in that format, it's crazy. It caused Baron to get limited. Appaloosa to get limited, or sorry, banned. Baron to get banned, Borreload Savage Dragon to get banned, Appaloosa to get banned. A lot of cards to get banned. Link Karibo, which is now back for some godforsaken reason. I think that people don't think this deck is going to be real because OSS is still banned. I think it's going to be... Okay, I'm not going to say I'm not going to say it's going to be like a meta threat, meta contender, tier 1 or anything like that. But I think you're going to see some Snake Eye piles that are like getting some tops at the regional level for sure. There's also people experimenting with like Yummy Snake Eye, crazy combo lines you can do with that. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but maybe I'll make a video about it if someone's interested in that. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see Snake Eye Yummy combos. I think it could be interesting. But Ash and Poplar back to 3 is cool. Poplar being to 3 doesn't really matter. It could have stayed at 2. You're not going to play more than 2 typically. But Ash being back to 3 is great. Still only 1 bonfire. Not as consistent as it could be. And you can't bridge with Black Witch. But still, kind of cool that these are back. I enjoyed Snake Eye stuff. Obviously, I know the format was pretty toxic, but I don't know. I liked playing it. Trigonic Diagram. This goes with Masterpiece. Again, Draco Slayer. Or not Draco Slayer. Yeah, Draco Slayer, whatever. Draco cards are not doing anything. Enjoy your field spell. Have fun. Lightning Storm back to 3. Super annoying, because I feel like most people had gotten used to like siding 2 Lightning Storms in a Duster for regionals, or depending on the format, right? I picked up 2 of the Alt-Art QCR Lightning Storms. Really don't want to have to find a 3rd. But I guess that's something we have to deal with now. Also feels real bad for back row decks, but, you know, a back row deck that might be coming back because of the new time rules is a deck that I absolutely abhor, which is Dynamorphia. Please don't play Dynamorphia at a regional. That deck, it has a special place in my heart of hatred because it's cost me a top 8. Like directly. It was like round 8. Some guy with Dynamorphia beat me in Snake Eye format. Horrible. Cost me a top 8. Also cost me a regional flight at Nats. Final round, Dynamorphia guy, 1 dice roll, opened the nuts both times, game 1 and 3. Yeah. Anyway, Lightning Storm back to 3. Woo! Don't think anyone really cares. And lastly, Zodiac Barrage. Again, what's with the Zodiac love? This card was banned. It's now unlimited. I just think this is a mistake, man. I don't know. We didn't need, like, Detonator's, you know, long forgotten son back with a spell to help enable it. But I don't know. Maybe in this format, it's not going to do much. I think it will do something. But that is the Forbidden Limited list, effective from September 15th, 2025. It came out today, which is Friday, September 12th, around noon Eastern. So it looks like we've got this weekend to play with our cards that we want to play with that are still currently legal. So enjoy your locals on Friday, today, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. Any events that you play, maybe it's time to bust out the VS K9 deck and get you an easy win. You won't be able to do it after Sunday, so have fun. Gonna pass priority back to you. What are your thoughts on the ban list? Are there cards that you wish would have been banned that weren't? I think Protos is probably up there for me. Cards should be banned. Are there cards that you wish that were unlimited, that didn't get unlimited? Stuff that should have come off the ban list? And what about the semi-limited list? You know, anything that should go here? Probably not. Real sad about some of these limits, but let me know what you think in the comments. Passing priority back to you. This is Corey with Pass Priority, and I hope you have a great day. See ya.